Strange, isn't it? Isn't as bad as it seems because I still seem to have the stream running.
Are you what? Wait, you're watching which copy of the stream are you watching?
Aaron's copy of the stream.
Oh, well, we're broadcasting via Reject Sport TV, so the Reject Sport TV pictures are what everybody else sees. They are back now. I have 0 dropped frames registered, so we are back in business.
And we've got a bit more weaving going on down the main straight. There's this. I think this is. This might be Bosovic in the second of the ArrowTechs, and yes, it is because he's got Douglas Mann and Mole behind him.
Apologies for my absence in the commentary booth, but I've been so busy trying to fix the technical issues with the stream that I've just not been able to say anything. However, we are back with... Is that Philippe Nicholas fighting one of the MRTs, or is that Bosovic?
That's Bosovic, I think.
That's Bosovic fighting Douglas Mann, indeed.
Yeah, I was going to say MRTs, there's none left in the race. I don't think he'll be fighting one of them.
Oh, I can't believe I said MRT, I mean HRT.
Unless he's going to the pitch and decide to have a fight with Melrose.
This is funny, I'm getting a comment through that I type angrily. I'm not really sure I'm doing that. I type fast, I'll give you that. I'm definitely a fast typer, but angry is not something I've really picked up before.
All caps. That's all I can say.
Anyway, any questions you want to ask us in the booth, just tweet your question along with the hashtag BlameWizzy. Or perhaps in this situation, blame Linari because the stream is not working at all at the moment.
But not blame Simpson.
No, you can't blame Simpson because he's not in charge of the technical side of the
You can blame him for what happened last week, but...
Oh yeah, most definitely.
On the track, that is not on the...
Oh dear, we're having yet more issues. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry about this, we appear to have lost Dave Simpson. Probably should explain we're not in the same place, but rather in separate locales across the world. Can you hear me, Dave Simpson?
Yes, I'm...
Ah, you are back. Yes, unfortunately the connection dropped off a minute ago. So we should be back to normal service at the moment on lap 31 of 52, only 21 to go.
Is that 31 or 21? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure that's 31. Although I think I'm going to ask the audience, so if you wouldn't mind tweeting me what lap you think this is, because frankly neither of us have any clue.
I'm going to go out and limb here and say it is 32 at the moment because of the race time at 58 minutes.
Indeed. Looking at the timing board, Philippe Nicholas seems to have lost an awful lot of time to Kalon. Didn't see how that happened, but it doesn't look too good for him. I wonder if that's maybe he's just made a mistake somewhere, or...
I think Lon's just pushing because he's opened the gap of 12 seconds over Thomas de Bock and Pippa Mann.
Tell you what, Thomas
really
de Bock
wants to win this thing.
Yeah, de Bock's having a really good race actually.
De Bock's actually a two-stopper. Has actually stopped twice. First time due to the technical.
Indeed, he's doing really well given. He's doing really well given his earlier misfortune with that technical issue. He was lucky that that technical issue came up right just before the pit lane.
I'll go out and limb here and say he's got a great chance to win this thing.
Well, that is quite a bold prediction. Agili winning the race. I don't see that happening myself, but we can always wait and see. Philippe Nicholas just looks too strong for everybody except Kalon at the moment. Looks like we're going to have a straight fight, but for me at least, it's going to be a straight fight between Nicola and Lon. But we'll just have to wait and see. Perhaps neither of those two guys up front will finish at all. Meanwhile, we do have a change for position at the back. Zimmer has overtaken the other Gillet over Illy and Mull for position. That's 14th and 15th. Mull must be on the wrong strategy or something, because he looked like he would be in putting positions before he had that spin. I don't know if
Mull may have stopped in the period we were having technical difficulties, I'd say.
Perhaps.
I don't think he was that far back before.
Great, we have another question coming in. What is the cause of Alitaglia's lack of pace this weekend? Well, I mean,
I'll actually say it's the Renault engine.
I would probably agree with you, because none of the Renault teams have been doing particularly well. I mean, you're one of the Renault teams, Simpson, and you didn't even qualify. The other Renault engine team, can you remember who that is?
I think it's Boxtel.
Right, Jetson Boxtel have not been having a good race either, so... Actually, no, I think it might be Revolution. I think Revolution is the other Renault team.
Yep. And they didn't qualify either.
Exactly, so I'll tell you, the only Renault team in the race, we can't really compare them to another team. And I do think that the Renault engine, not quite as strong as others in race trim. I do hear that they're going to have an upgrade package in a couple of races' time, but before then they're going to be struggling in terms of raw power. Certainly you need that raw power going down Conrad Straight.
The next race, I think, is it Monza, is it not? That will be...
Oh, that will be tough for the guys who don't have much horsepower. Look out for Ben Fleet having another train forming behind them.
As we say this, Daniel Martins has an electrical problem, so not looking good for the Sunshine driver at the moment.
Indeed, Daihatsu Works team having an awful season so far.
And unfortunately for him, it was right after the pit exit as well that he suffered this problem.
He's still going though. Maybe he can make it to the pit lane. But he's slowing down quite significantly now, though.
Yeah.
No, I don't think is he going to make it? It's touch and go for him. Touch and go. He's looking really slow, but he soldiers on. He's already on Conrad Straight. He might be able to make it. It would be quite painful if he got all this way, but his car just died before the pit entry. As both Rhys Davis and Keylon come in for pit stops.
He can pretty much just coast it down the hill from now on and make it.
No, he's going to make it. He's going through the chase now. He is going to get that thing fixed up. We saw with Thomas de Bock that if you can get to the pit lane, it's not going to affect you too much. Right behind him is Andrea Battani. He comes in for pit stop as well.
Speaking of de Bock, he's now up in the second after...
Apologies, we seem to have lost Dave Simpson again. We're trying to get him back. For now, it's just me, Alessandro Lanari, commentating. Unfortunately for everybody else who listens, because I'm sure you enjoy David Simpson a lot more than I do, my random ramblings and getting the lap kind of run and whatnot. Anyway, Daniel Martins getting his electrical problem fixed as Ron Minuli pits from 15th. Wow, he's really not having a good race this afternoon. Delatali is on shocking form. We are on board with Kalon, who has just made his pit stop, trying to find a way back past Douglas Mann. Looks for a move through the dipper, thinks better of it. Is he going to make a move into the cutting? Oh dear, we appear to be having all sorts of technical issues at the moment. It's not going too well this afternoon. The Adelaide broadcast, apart from my gaps, are pretty much seamless, but we're having some technical issues this afternoon. Kalon goes to the outside, well, the inside for the approach to the chase, but the outside for the chase itself. He makes it stick. We are working on getting Mr. Dave Simpson back at the moment. No luck so far. Rhys Davis is now the driver stuck behind Douglas Mann. Whoa, no, Douglas Mann, what are you doing? You can't just chop in front of people like that eventually. No, he's not giving up. Oh. Douglas, what are you doing? Oh, jeez. Douglas, man. He's overdriving the car completely, runs wide, smashes his car up completely. Disgraceful driving from Douglas, man, there. Weaving and blocking and then putting it in the wall. That was dangerous by Douglas, man. Dangerous stuff. You can't do that. Especially someone with as many race stars as him should know better than that. So we still seem to be unable to get in contact with Dave Simpson, who's commentating from the race location. Meanwhile, I'm in a commentary booth across the world. Not much happening at the moment after that incident with Douglas Mann. He'll probably get back to pit lane and fix his car up, but still, you've got to wonder when the veterans are driving like that. What are we going to expect from the young guns? The man is back up in second place. It's where she finished last time out as Thomas de Bock comes in for another pit stop. He is in the running for Gillet's first podium of the year. This race, honestly, not making too much sense at the moment. The pit stop strategies don't, some of them at least, don't seem to have much cohesion to them. Perhaps this is down to the box electrical problem earlier, and they just had to shuffle around the strategy into something a little bit unconventional. Speaking of which, Douglas Mann pits from 9th place with that mashed up front end. Looks like he'll be able to continue on his way after they replace that front wing. I still, unfortunately, haven't been able to get back to Dave Simpson. Looks like I might be on my own for now. We're flicking through the order. Here's Miko Bosovic in the second, ArrowTech in third. Great race for ArrowTech so far this afternoon. First and third. Don't think we expected such a good performance from those guys. David Neuberg still solidly in the points in fourth place. A great result so far this afternoon for +1. They'll be hoping reliability issues don't befall that car, because it would be a fantastic result. David Neuberg in fourth place. He's got an air racing right behind him though. I think that is indeed Kaelon. Kaelon looking racy. Looked like he could have won the race this afternoon. Going to struggle to do it now, being 40 seconds behind Nicholas, whether he's a pit stop up or not. He's lining up a move on David Neuberg. We expect Kaelon will pass within a few laps' time. I've been told Kaelon suffered from a technical issue early in the race. We must have missed you due to our own technical issues in the streaming box. Whoa! Oh, David Neuberg's ruined it. David Neuberg has crashed up on the mountain. Those are good points got begging through. What is he doing? He's ramming the wall trying to get back. No, what are you doing, David? What are you doing? I said that he was on for a great result. He's just ruined it with some terrible driving. That's sad to see. You don't like it when the underdogs lose good positions like that, but he was just pushing too hard through the mountain section there, puts her in the wall, and I don't know what kind of spin turn that was, because he kept ramming his car into the wall. Unfortunate for +1, but I don't think Neuberg going to be getting any points after that. Pipperman is 20 seconds behind race leader Philippe Nicolas. Wait, we have a transmission problem for someone. Is that Pipperman? Pipperman with a transmission failure? It is! Pipperman has a transmission failure. Pipperman's race is over. She retires from second place. That is the first problem of a technical nature we've seen for an air racing this season. Kaelon is about to overtake her teammate. McFry is off. McFry is sponge at the exact same corner that Pipperman's retired at. He gets on his way again, but almost a double whammy at the second corner as Rhys Davis laps Martin McFry. He's got a Gillet right behind him. That is Thomas de Bock trying to find a way into fourth place. Unfortunately, still haven't been able to get Brody Steed on the line. Sorry, Dave Simpson on the line. Thomas de Bock makes a move for 4th position ahead of Rhys Davis. So far they're staying clean, but we'll have to see if they start waving again. Thomas de Bock powers down the inside. I think he's got the position now. Nope, no comeback from Rhys Davis, and that is Thomas de Bock up to 4th position. Good stuff from him. The Gillet drivers having a good race apart from Mull's earlier mistake. Mull really regretting that earlier mistake because he would have been in the running for a podium as well as Thomas de Bock. Seems like the two best teams this afternoon are ArrowTech and Gillet with Aero Racing in the mix. Kalon is currently running second, but with that transmission failure for Pifferman, there are no questions over that car's reliability. What I'm wondering though is why is Ron Mignolet so slow? Bialatali looked so good in the first race of the season, so quick, and Mignolet is absolutely nowhere. A very disappointing performance from Ron Mignolet this afternoon. David Neuberg, speaking of people down in the second half of the order, David Neuberg has dropped to 15th after that incident. James Davis is currently fighting with Aurelian Mull for 6th place. I think Mull's going to have that one covered. The Gillet is clearly faster than the Sunshine Daihatsu. Once again, if you have any questions for, well, me at this point, because we still haven't been able to get Dave Simpson back, feel free to tweet your questions with the hashtag BlameWizzy. We'll read it out on air, and I'll come up with some bullshit answer. Because quite frankly, the race is dying down. We're having some technical issues. This stream is turning into something of a farce. We're on lap 40 of 52. Philip Nicholas still leads. He has a almost 40-second lead over Kalon. Kalon probably would have been in contention for victory if he had not had that technical issue earlier on, but he is now 40 seconds down the road. 5 seconds further back is Thomas de Bock in the first of the two Gilets. In 4th position we have Rhys Davis in the sole remaining Jones Racing car, 46 seconds down the road. In 5th, Marcus Bosovic in the other Mirko Bosovic in the other ArrowTech. 1st and 5th, it's been a good race for ArrowTech this afternoon. And the final points ping position so far is going to the other Gillet of Aurelian Mull. He could have been in the fight for a podium without that earlier spin. James Davison is having a reasonable race. He was all over the place in Adelaide, but he's doing okay this afternoon. 7th, perhaps a chance for points if guys ahead of him drop out. 8th position goes to Barry Murray. He didn't even make the race last time out in Adelaide, but he's on course for some points if misfortune befalls those ahead. We're being asked who do you think will be ROTR. I'd have to say MRT. Going into this weekend they were a shambles with their second driver. Eventually, Daniel Melrose, of all people, steps back into the cockpit. That's a pretty rejectable start to the weekend. Then Melrose spins and drops them to last place early on in the race. Mark Dagnall has an engine failure. Then Daniel Melrose has an engine, well, I don't think it was an engine failure, it was a water leak, but still technical failure. 2 DNFs for MRT, even though they're fast. That's definitely ROTR worthy. In terms of individual performance, that's a tough one. Douglas Mann, his driving's been awful today. Weaving down the straights, cutting people off, putting his car on a wall. Although actually, now I think about it, probably the strongest ROTR is Yamaha. Kazama, through driver error, wiped their front wing off, went down to the back, and then her car expired, and then McCain's car expired as well, so not a good race for Yamaha either. It's a tough one to decide between MRT and Yamaha. Nothing else to me stands out as being race worthy. That is a battle for... No, that is just... that is Thomas de Bock trying to lap
Brucey Kibbett's not really being too helpful to his cause. This is Philippe Nicholas coming in for a pit stop. Is that scheduled? No, it's an electrical problem. It's an unscheduled stop for Philippe Nicholas. Philippe Nicholas has a problem. This could equalise the race for Kalon. He came in early because of a technical trouble. Now Philippe Nicholas is out. Is he going to stay ahead of Kalon? I think he is. He's still got most of the pit lane to drive down, but Kalon has not got through the cutting now. He has just gone through the chase to the last corner. Nicholas heads out of pit lane. He remains in first for now, but the gap has been erased completely. Lon will be right behind Philippe Nicholas after this. The momentum he'll get going through the first corner will help him gain another couple of seconds. The gap has closed right down now. Kalon is back in the fight for victory with only 10 laps left. Can he make this work? Can he catch up to the ArrowTech in first place? Can he take his first win of the season and Aero Racing's first win of the season? Either way you look at this, the Aero Racings look very strong so far this season. Pippaman finished second in the first race. Looks like Lon will finish either second or first this afternoon. They're in a good position for the Constructors' Championship. This is Douglas Mann trying to find a way past Barry Murray. That was an aggressive move. Not as aggressive as before and looked reasonably fair, but still my point stands. Douglas Mann being a little bit too aggressive this afternoon needs to calm himself down. Unfortunately, we're hearing that Dave Simpson will not be returning to commentary this afternoon. Technical issues forcing him out. So another technically induced retirement at this race. We've already had a few of them. Now we've had one here as well. So unfortunately, we've got to suffer through it with me for the rest of this afternoon's race. We're right on board with Kalon in second position. The gap is down to 8 seconds. Can he close down those 8 seconds in the remaining 10 laps? It's theoretically possible. Don't know if he's quick enough though. That's Rhys Davis overtaking. No, sorry, that's lapping Brucey Kibbett's, I believe. Meanwhile, I've got to go and fix another technical issue I'm having. If you just give me 1 second. Okay, I think we're back in business. Another tweet from the chat. Could ArrowTech challenge for the championship this year? Well, based on this afternoon's form, you'd have to say yes. However, you've got to consider that MRT have had 2 DNFs, that Yamaha have had 2 DNFs, and also one of the Aero Racings is out. So we've got a lot of top drivers already out of the race this afternoon. If the ArrowTech remain this reliable throughout the season, then yes, I think they could be in contention for the championship on sheer reliability alone, along with the Joneses. The Joneses don't look like they've got the pace to live with the top teams this year, but you never know. Through sheer finishing record, perhaps Rhys Davis will be in the hunt at the end of the season. If he keeps picking up decent points finishes throughout the year, he might need to start finishing the podium a bit more often rather than the lower points places, but if he could start finishing the podium on a regular basis, then yes, I think he will be in the championship battle, as will the ArrowTech. Certainly this win will help Philippe Nicholas no end. In fact, I believe he might be the championship leader after this, with a win and a couple of points at the first race in Adelaide. It's still early days. Things might change drastically as the season goes on, but ArrowTech look like they're in a reasonably good position with Philippe Nicholas. Don't think Mirko Bosovic will factor at all in the Drivers' Championship, but the extra points he might score in the Constructors could help them. Bosovic currently running in 5th, well ahead of Aurelien Mull, so it looks like he'll finish top 5 and 6 seconds down the road from Rhys Davis, so perhaps potential to make up another spot before the end of the race, but he'll have to get a move on if he wants to do that. Things are starting to settle down now. Kalon seems to have given up the chase of Philippe Nicholas. It looks like mechanical failures forbidding Philippe Nicholas will probably win this Grand Prix this afternoon. Although we have the gilet of Thomas de Bock closing in on Kalon quite quickly. Could have a late change for position this afternoon. De Bock looking feisty. Both gilets were looking feisty this afternoon. Mull perhaps should have been in this position instead of de Bock. We could have had 2 gilets on the podium had things gone well for them, but still having de Bock fighting for a podium is a great improvement on their opening race of the weekend where they failed to score at all. De Bock chasing down
Kalon on the straight. Here he goes, moving down the inside. Will Kalon cut him off? No, he gets alongside, he takes the position. Thomas de Bock is up to second place. Good move from the Belgian driver. He stuck it down the inside. He showed commitment, and that is what he deserves. He's had a great race this afternoon, Thomas de Bock. Hasn't put a foot wrong. He suffered an electrical failure in his car, and he's still in second position. An awesome race from the Gilles driver. So far, my driver of the race has to be Thomas de Bock. He's driven a great race. He's still in second despite a technical issue. Fantastic. I don't think he'll be able to catch Philippe Nicholas in first. He's only got 7 laps to do it in 12 seconds. Not going to happen. Not much happening at the moment. Things have really died down here so far. Rhys Davis not close enough to Kalon to challenge. Too far ahead of Bosovic to be in danger. Only possible battle I see is for 6th place between this battle, in fact, Aurélien Mol and Barry Murray for over 6th place. The final points by position. Can CR get a point despite failing to pre-qualify last time? Although it does look somewhat like Kalon's not giving up on second position just now. We are still with this battle for 6th place. Looks like the only position change we might have before the end of the race for a notable position. Battle still going on up and down the field, but all well outside the top 10. Looks like there is an almighty scrap going on for 12 between Ron Mignolet, David Neuberg, Daniel Martins and Andrea Battani, with Mignolet holding everybody up. I'll tell you, not a good sign at all. Really, the race has died down quite a lot. We're settling in for the end of the afternoon, the end of the Grand Prix. Not much to be had at the moment. We're still watching this fight for 6th position between Aurélien Mol and Barry Murray. So the CR guys will really be egging on Barry Murray, though. They didn't really look like they were going to score any points based on their form in the first race of the season. But Barry Murray has a great chance to get a point for CR. Could be a valuable point at the end of this year. This CR team used to be Tropico, and last season they only scored 1 point all year, so scoring a point after only round 2 would be a great result for them. Here comes Barry Murray down the inside of Aurélien Mol. He's not got the straight line speed to pull off a move, though. He jumps back in behind the Gilles to get another slipstream. Now he's going to try down the inside of the corner. Oh, that's close, but he doesn't. He thinks better of it. He pulls out of the move. He remains at 7th for now. He's got another 5 laps to come up with something. Sorry, not 5 laps, 4 laps, I believe. He has 4 laps remaining to come up with a way past. But he is very quickly running out of time. Back with Barry Murray again. Now he's having another look down the inside. Can he make it stick, or will the door be shut on him again? Indeed, the door is shut on him again. Will he attempt a move at the top of the hill like he tried on someone else earlier on? Does not. That's a broken down car. That's James Davis on fire. James Davis retires with an engine failure. He is well out of the points anyway. He was ahead of his teammate though, so that could have been a good result for him personally. But that's another DNF for James Davis. Daniel Martins, the only remaining sunshine, he's down in 13th. Not a good weekend for Daihatsu. Meanwhile, we're back with the battle for 6th. Barry Murray right behind Aurelian Mall, hounding the Gilles driver. But I think that must mean we're down to 14 runners now, because James Davis still displaying his 15th. Here we are, side by side. Barry Murray going to the other side this time. That looked dangerous by Aurelian Mall, almost putting him into the grass. He swaps to the other side. Can't Barry Murray make it stick? No, he can't. He's still stuck down the south. Can't find a way past that Gilles. The Gilles just has too much straight line speed and he can't get ahead on the Cornwall Straight. The Cornwall Straight, pretty much the best overtaking zone on this track. But that car just does not have the straight line speed to pull it off. Much better in the twisty stuff at the top of the mountain, the CR. Meanwhile, the Gilles not so good through that tight twisty stuff, but awesome down the Cornwall Straight. We've seen it all afternoon. The Gilles have been really difficult to pass. But here we go, lap traffic. Oh, that's sad. I thought that Murray was going to be able to take advantage of that Foxtail to pull a sort of Schumacher-Hakkinen 1999 Spa move, but it didn't happen for him. I know that Foxtail's causing problems instead of helping him. Eventually gets past, but I think that's an opportunity wasted. The Gilles was stuck behind the Foxtail and Murray had clean air ahead of him. I think that was the time he should have made the move. I'm not sure he's going to get past now because that car just does not have the straight line speed to make a move in Conrad, and Conrad seems to be the only place he seems to find space to make a move. So I'm calling it already. I think that Moll is going to be able to hold on to the 6th place in the final points ping position. You know, further up the field, De Bock has pulled a 3-second gap from Kalon. Looks like he's going to take 2nd place this afternoon. Rhys Davis on his own, reasonably comfortable ahead of Mirko Bosovic. Here comes Barry Murray again. Looks left, can't get through. Looks right, not quick enough. He's going left again. No, he's going right again. He faked a little bit and once again cannot get past the Gilles, who's just too fast in a straight line. But he's off! Oh, Aurelian Mall's crashed and Barry Murray's crashed! They've both gone off. Whoa, what an altercation. That got rough. What happened there? Aurelian Mall runs wide. Barry Murray takes avoiding action and runs off the track at the same time. Moll's ruined his race by doing that, but has Barry Murray retained 6th place? Late drama for the final points ping position. Barry Murray, you saw him run wide, he's smacked the wall, but I don't think he's got much damage to that car. Aurelian Mall doesn't seem to have much damage either. Mall pushing too hard through the chase. Barry Murray has to make quick avoiding action, and he's lost a place over that lap traffic. I saw a car fly by. This is Moll, who's still 7th, but that's Douglas Mann. Douglas Mann is the next car behind in 8th in the HRT. So Murray, despite running wide off the track into the wall, remains in 6th place. He is going to take the final points position now because Moll has lost a heap of time with that incident. You've got to say that's 100% Moll's fault. You can't fault Barry Murray for that. He was simply taking avoiding action because he could see the Gilles wildly out of control coming towards his car, spearing towards the side pod. He actually did a very good job not to get hit, because I think if he got hit that could have been the end of his race. He took a chance, went through the gravel, touched the wall, but his car seems to be okay. Good decision by Barry Murray. Looks like he's going to get a point for his quick thinking. Good stuff there for CR. Their first point of the season. That's going to be valuable for them at the end of the season. There are a lot of guys who are fighting to get out of pre-qualifying who may not score at all. That 1 point could be worth a lot of money at the end of this season. My mistake from earlier on, there are still more than 15 cars running, but Kekkonen is lapped down again. We saw last weekend Kekkonen was desperately slow, the absolute slowest car on the track last time. Once again, Kekkonen is slower than everybody else. Perhaps, I know I criticised Melrose for firing Kalon after one race, but Kalon was reasonably fast before his incident. Jari Kekkonen, on the other hand, has demonstrated he is nowhere near as fast as his teammate Andrea Battani. Desperately slow in that box-style car. Perhaps it's time that they start investigating replacements for Jari Kekkonen. Meanwhile, we're back at the front of the race with Philippe Nicolas on his penultimate lap, going down Conrad Straight for the second to last time. Presumably, mechanical failures aside, only a matter of time before he crosses the line to take victory. I expect it'll be a full 10 points for ArrowTech this afternoon, plus the 2 points they'll get for Bosovic in 5th position. It's been a great race for the ArrowTech team.
A little bit disappointing. First weekend on Adelaide, only a couple of points for Nicholas and nothing for Bosovic at all. But this is going to be a fantastic result for this team. Philippe Nicholas cast aside by MRT at the end of last season. Cast aside, replaced with Mark Dagnall. Yet it is Philippe Nicholas who will lead the championship after this weekend with Dagnall on no points. So I bet you he's feeling very happy about the decision to be fired. Well, I say decision, but he wasn't given a choice in the matter at all. He was let go, cast astray by MRT, but he's found his feet with ArrowTech. He's going to win his first race of the season, showing he is not just a one-trick pony as many of the MRT drivers are. They said it was just a car. It doesn't seem to be the case. He is going to win his first race with ArrowTech. A great drive from him, measured drive, hasn't done anything wrong even when his car almost threatened to give up on him. He kept going, he brought it in, he got the car fixed, and he's out again. Great drive from him. This is Kalo in the third position. He lost second place late on to Thomas de Bac, who again has had a really good drive. Same electrical issue as Philippe Nicholas, not quite as fast in terms of raw pace as the Frenchman, but still a great result for Gillet this afternoon. Second position. Moll should have been up there as well, but he's thrown the car off the road too many times. He could have had a podium, he threw it off the road. He could have had a point at the end of this race, threw it off the road again. Not been a good race for Aurelien Moll. Perhaps Moll could be rejected the race because he should have done a lot better. But here comes Nicholas round the final corner for the final time. Philippe Nicholas for ArrowTech wins the New South Wales Grand Prix. Thomas de Bac is going to come home in second position. Great race from him. Valuable points for Gillet. No points from the opening race. Now they've got 7. Coming home to take 5 points will be Kalo, and he rounds the final turn with a broken front wing. I hadn't noticed that. He must have had some sort of incident in the last lap where he took a little bit of his front wing off. Didn't matter in the end though, he managed to keep going. Would like to see a replay of that if it's possible. If not, we'll go back to the finisher. Miko Bosovic confirms himself in 5th position behind Rhys Davis, who will come in 4th. Here comes the battle for Seg. Barry Mori has a car behind him, but I think that guy's a lap down. That must be Bruce Kivitz, perhaps, or Kevin Neuberg. Either way, it's one of the +1 cars, followed by one of the Foxtails. In the final points position, Barry Mori for CR. A great result for that team. Moll will probably come home in 7th position. But here we are with race winner Philippe Nicholas. A great result for his ArrowTech team. He will lead the championship after this weekend. The race comes to an end. Mignolet, who was the championship leader, finishes a mere 12th. Awful result for him. We go to the full race results. As you can see, Philippe Nicholas first position. We look further down the guys we weren't able to count for yet. Aurelien Moll did indeed finish 7th ahead of Douglas Mann. Mann not able to find a way past. Danny Van Rijkens in the other CR ended up 9th despite having an electrical issue himself earlier on in the race. Great race for CR. 1 point, both cars in the top 10. It would have been hard for them to do better than that going into the weekend. I imagine that's quite high above their expectations. David Neuberg in the first of the +1 cars is 10th. He made up a few positions later on. Frank Zimmer is in 11th in the other Holden HRT. Ron Mignolet, awful race for him, down in 12th. Nowhere near the points. Daniel Martins right behind him in 13th in the first of the Sunshine Daihatsus. 14th for Andrea Battani in the Boxtel. Not a good result for Andrea Battani himself, but at least he's significantly faster than his teammate Jari Kekkonen, who was a lap down. Not sure who was in 15th. We have to wait for the positions to scroll through. In fact, we'll probably just get back to you with the results in the post-race. This has been the New South Wales Grand Prix. We apologise for every technical issues we have had today. You can always rewatch the race later on via highlights. Those will be available later this afternoon, possibly during the evening European time, or tomorrow morning in Australia. This has been a Reject Sport production at F1RWRS Live. Next up will be the Italian Grand Prix at Monza in a couple of weeks' time. Until then though, we'll see you later. Goodbye.